Welcome each of you to our meeting this morning of the Sports Authority. We're glad to see you. We've got sunshine outside this morning and makes us all feel good, and especially up on this level where we can feel it and see it. I want to thank the Sounds, the Nashville Sounds, and particularly Frank Ward and Brad Tammon and their staff for having us here this morning and giving us an opportunity to have our meeting here at the Sound Stadium. As we would begin this meeting, I'd like to point out that the appeals process for the decisions made by the Sports Authority are listed at the top of the published agenda and also on the Sports Authority website if you need to go there. It's a very exciting day for the Sports Authority, and before I make some introductions, I want to just mention that one of our members was highlighted in the Nashville Business Journal this week. Movers and Shakers Under 40 in Nashville. Kim Atkins, how about that? If you didn't read it?
It was a typo. It was supposed to be 30, right?
If you didn't see it, go back and look at it. You'll enjoy reading about the successes of she and her husband and what's going on in their lives. I want to recognize those that are new appointees that we have on our board today, and also we have one that's been reappointed to our board. But first, these have been appointed by the mayor. They've been reaffirmed, or confirmed rather, by the Metro Council. And the first one I'll introduce is one I think, I think you know, most of you know all of them, but I'll just mention that Rip Ryman represents the 20th Senate District and replaces Steve North. Rip? And Dudley West represents the 8th School District and replaces Nancy Vinson. Dudley? And Christy Wilson represents the 21st Senate District and replaces Lauren Brisky. We welcome you three. And also, we welcome, wonder who that is, Kathy Bender, who I think is one of the longest terming. She and Coach have been around a long time, and Kathy has been reappointed, and we're delighted to have Kathy. She's been secretary of this organization for a long time, and she and I have fun each time that Rich Riblin has had us to come to make signings. We've signed our name away many, many times, and it's always a pleasant to work with Kathy. We welcome each of you, and also would like to recognize that we had good work by Steve North, Nancy Vinson, and Lauren Brisky, and hopefully somewhere along the way, if you see them, that you will thank them and tell them what a good job they've done. Okay, let's move on to the approval of the minutes, but before I say that, we will have one other new appointee, which we don't have yet, that the mayor's working on, and maybe that person will be here at our next meeting, and this person will replace Helen Walker. Okay, you've had the minutes of the January 16th meeting. Is there a motion for the approval of these minutes?
Motion for approval?
Motion's made and second. Second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? The minutes are approved. And we continue to have very active activity by our executive director, Toby Compton, and we would ask him to give us his report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hope Springs Eternal, it's great to be here at Greer Stadium. It's really fun to see the field in the shape it is. I'll tell you this morning, as we were preparing for the meeting, I saw Rich Rieblin get off the elevator. It made me nervous. I didn't expect him. So I was like, oh no, what's going on? It's always good to see Rich. He's got an eye on me all the time.
Could it be because budget is on our...
Budget, yes, budget is on the agenda today, later in our program, but there's no surprises there. Very quickly, I'll walk, since we have several new board members today, we have several updates to bring the entire board, but also the new folks up to speed on some of our projects. And quickly, I'll run through the agenda, and after my report, we'll hear from the Nashville Sounds, the Nashville Sports Council, our great partners who are doing such great work right now, along with Margaret Bem for the NCAA Women's Final Four. They will bring us up to date about the events that will take place here very shortly in our city, very impactful. The Titans will provide their update. Remick Moore from Metro General Services is here in the back of the room. He will bring us up to speed with the development of the ice hockey practice facility in the Global Crossings Mall. We'll hear from the Nashville Predators. They will have an update of the December 2013 and the January 14 monthly reports. Ron Gobble, whom I get to spend a lot of time with these days, will bring us up to speed on the ballpark. There's much activity going on now. We all know there was activity going on, but now the public is certainly seeing it with the removal of all the dirt in that area. And then we'll get into our discussions and approvals of our budgets. Things have been going very well. We have been very, very busy, and we're getting a lot of requests for use of parking and special events at LP Field. And of course, we're getting a lot of requests to speak in civic groups and business meetings about the ballpark. So all very exciting things, and we continue to work very hard. And Monica and I have worked and had much discussions on our 2015 budget. So I look forward to presenting that to you all.
Great. Thank you, Toby, and we'll move right on with our agenda here as you have it before you. Frank Ward, the Nashville Sounds owner, and we're thrilled to be working with the Nashville Sounds. We thank them again for hosting us here today, and this will help our authority members to get to know some of the staff with the Nashville Sounds better. Frank, you want to come give us a report?
First of all, I'd like to welcome you to Greer. I mean, some of you may have been here before. We're getting ready for the 2014 season here. We're excited. My general manager will speak a little more about it directly. Spending a lot of time with the design team on the new facility. Again, very exciting, and I know Ron will update you more, and I just wanted to welcome you all here. And like you come back whenever you'd like to come back and use the facility, you're always welcome to come back. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. The next item on the agenda is the Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry.
Hello. Yeah, thanks, Frank. Yeah, it's an exciting time. The beautiful field out here. It looks like we could play two today with the weather and the green grass. So we'd love to have you out. And, you're welcome to see the facility or see the field here at the end of the meeting. April 11th is our home opener. We open up in 22 days. Actually, we open up 8 days prior to that on April 3rd on the road. It is our 37th and final year here at Greer Stadium, and we have 23 fireworks shows that will be launched behind the guitar scoreboard once again, and we have many activities and promotions that are going to be celebrating the final year here at Greer, such as historic guitar scoreboard and snow globe, highlighting that guitar scoreboard. Also a authentic or a replica 78 bobblehead from the old-fashioned bobbleheads you used to see, and miniature replica Greer stadiums, and those are just a few of what's coming forward. But I'd like to also introduce our senior management staff, who's been working tremendously behind the scenes to get ready for this season, and also at the same time planning for the new ballpark. So this time I'd like to see if I could have my staff step forward or step up here, and I'd like to introduce you all. I have Brandon Yerger, our Assistant General Manager, Doug Scopel, Vice President of Baseball Operations, Jason Franke, Vice President of Corporate Sales and Marketing, and then Eric Rowley, our Vice President of Ticket Sales and Service. And these are the guys that are on the front line with their staffs, and we've developed a really nice staff that's continuing to grow as we plan for the future here. So thank you.
Welcome, staff.
One last thing, as we plan, and you'll hear later with Ron about the new ballpark situation, but we are also taking deposits and We've had tremendous response so far about new ballpark season ticket deposits, and it's exciting to see that. So again, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. Anybody have a question you want to ask Brad about the season? Okay, thank you, Brad. Okay, as you all know, the NCAA Women's Final Four will be coming up here very shortly. Actually, it's about 17 days away. The Nashville Sports Council and Margaret Mom have been very active. Margaret, we appreciate the work that you've given to it. But this morning, Gary Alexander is here to give us this update and this report. Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's hard to believe that we started this project 5.5 years ago. We submitted our bid in January 2008. We're named the host city in November of 2008. And now the teams will get off the plane in 14 days. We will tip off the first game of the semifinals in 17 days. As I was telling the folks, some of the folks behind me today, I'm ready. Let's just tip the ball and play basketball. As you've seen downtown, the look and decor has begun. The street pole banners have gone up, and starting March 28th, you will see this city turn into Final Four Central. The look and decor will go up on the arena, at the hotels, and downtown at the Music City Center. It truly will be Final Four Central. We're expecting 20 to 30,000 visitors. Part of them with the Women's Basketball Coaches Association that has their annual convention of about 2,500 folks at Music City Center and staying at the Omni Hotel. The economic impact is projected by the NCAA is about $25 million. Because of Nashville's central location and ease of getting here, both by plane and by car, we're thinking that number is going to be bigger. The mantra of the NCAA has always been, it's more than 3 games. 2 semifinal games, national championship, but it's a lot more than that. We have a legacy program that is well underway. Last night, Amanda Beard, an Olympic swimmer, spoke for the library reading program. We have a poetry in motion program that the local organizing committee has funded. Those will be part of the April Poetry Month. Their work will be on the MTA buses. Film celebration of women's basketball will be at the Belcourt Theater. There's a service program going on right now. There was a group at Second Harvest that launched it. A leadership program that we've had 2 sessions of 30 girls each at the Lipscomb Academy for Leadership. It will culminate in a luncheon on April the 1st with a keynote speaker of Christine Brennan, who is a USA Today columnist, longtime sports figure. And then we have a media program we're highlighting and uplifting female athletes. It's been going on a long time now. We had an event at Harpeth Hall where a known professor came and spoke about women in the media. Actually, the title of her talk was "Women Do Play Sports, Just Not in the Media." And it was a great evening attended by a couple of hundred people. We've had a radio show that's been running every Wednesday night highlighting coaches and basketball players. The local organizing committee sponsored the girls' TSSAA radio coverage, the first time that the girls' program has been covered. We have a video posting project on our website, and I'll draw your attention to our website, musiccityplays.net, and you can see the results of all of those things. It is more than 3 games, and we talk about Super Saturday. Super Saturday is April the 5th, and we call it Super because it's free to our community. You can park at LP Field and ride a free shuttle to Music City Center. You can go to Tourneytown, which is an interactive, full of games and a zip line, I'm told, that will be in the Music City Center. We have Broadway Bounce. Can you imagine 1,000 kids bouncing basketball down Broadway? I'm thankful I'm not in charge of that. We have a 4K run that benefits the K-Yow Cancer Fund that will go off on Super Saturday. The teams will practice open to the public. There'll be autograph sessions. There'll be live music everywhere. Of course, this is Music City. And all of that, again, I'll reiterate, is free to the community. You don't have to buy a ticket. Of course, the games tip off Sunday, April 6th, 5:30, and following the first game. And then Tuesday, April the 8th at 7:30. This is Nashville's event. This is not the local organizing committee or the Ohio Valley Conference or the Nashville Sports Council. Everyone has played a role. I'm going to miss some people, but thanks to Jeff Cogan and Sean Henry and his whole team at the arena for making the arrangements of that. Thanks to Charles Starks and Brian Ivey and that whole team in making the Music City Center work. Walter Overton, I don't even know if he knows, he's hosting 400 volunteers tonight at LP Field. For orientation. We couldn't have done this without the Music City Center, the Convention Center Hotel. It's unbelievable how many people have played a role. I'm open to questions. The only question I can't answer is, where are you going to get your ticket? There are about 200 left, is all we're told, and they're in the upper deck by the NCAA. So, any questions from the group?
Hey, Toby, will you send out just the website to everybody? I know you told us, but
You bet.
it'd be good just to.
Thank you, Gary. And Margaret and Kathy. Kathy, I believe you also were on the committee, right?
Yes, I worked with the leadership.
We thank both of you. Margaret, do you have a...
And Kim, too, has also been very involved. So I wanna
Okay,
thank
Kim.
I just want to say to everybody in this room that I think you could tell by Gary Alexander's presentation the passion that he has for this event. And I cannot tell you what he has meant to this for the past 6 years. I mean, without him, we would not be having all the events he talked about. He has been an extraordinary leader. His leadership team is amazing. So I would like for everyone to give Gary Alexander
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Moving right along with the agenda, we have the Tennessee Titans and LP Field report. Now I want you to keep your mind on Walter's report and not on his shirt and tie this morning.
Good morning, board members. I hope everyone has this booklet that we sent out last month, but we did not have a meeting, and I hope that everybody brought it with you. There are not a lot of changes that has occurred since the last time we had a board meeting, so I will refer to this booklet. You know, standing here on this site, it brings back a lot of memories for me. Just a few years ago, I was playing junior knot-hole baseball. You know, some people refer to it as Little League baseball. It was called junior knot-hole baseball at the time that I was playing, and we played here at Fort Negley Park, and to mention that we did win a championship playing at this park. So it does bring back memories just a few short years ago. Okay. Before you, we have the LP Field calendar, which we'd like to present to the board so that you can see all of the events and activities that is going on at the stadium. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Tom King Marathon, Tom King Half Marathon, which I was told that there's record-setting crowds that was involved in that. Of course, in June, we'll have in April, we'll have the Country Music Marathon, which is already sold out, and it's really one of those unique signature events that has been hosted here for several years. And in June, we have the CMAs, which is already sold out, and we look forward to hosting that. That's always an exciting time. Normally, I have missed the first day, that Thursday, because I'm out of town at NFL security stadium meetings. But this time, the meeting has been moved to the third week of June, so I'll be able to enjoy all 4 days. So that will be a lot of fun. Tab 2 is our casualty loss page, where we show you where property that has been damaged through no cause of us, but has been damaged by a gate or weather, and we present that to Metro Insurance for reimbursement. Tab 3 is our ticket user fee fund. It shows you up to date just the amounts that are involved in that monthly, and that ticket user fee goes towards paying the debt service for the upgrades that was installed in the stadium over a year ago. Tab 4 is our capital fund balance, which is the fund for some of you that may know, and some of the new members may not know, but this is a capital fund that the city and the Sports Authority funds for any type of capital improvements that are needed at the stadium. Tab 5 is our unfiled reimbursement request that we just recently had a meeting about with Margaret, Toby, Monica, Bob Lackey, Dempsey Henderson, and myself, where we vetted each of the reimbursement requests. Sometimes there are pending issues that we need to take care of immediately, that we can't wait till we get reimbursed from the city. So what we do, we move forward with paying for the item or the repair, and then we discuss with the board and members about the reimbursement, whether or not it falls under the guidelines of the lease agreement. So we've done that, and hopefully the next board meeting that will be before you so that we can discuss that. Tab 6 is our capital expense items, and it also shows you the pending projects that's occurring at the stadium. There are a number of projects that continues to be a problem, but we steadfastly go about trying to maintain that facility and make sure that it's operating in the best condition possible. Of course, we talk about leak repairs all the time, and as long as we have concrete, and it rains, there will be some leaks. We are exploring and developing a scope to look at the water quality. So that's something that we want to continue to look at. We're also looking at sealing and paving our parking lots, because we continue to do that on a couple of years, but now that the parking lots are being used extensively, it will need paving, sealing more frequently than it has been in the past. Just to mention that we have had over 4,000 season ticket holders that we have entertained at the stadium in the last couple of weeks. We are continuing to try to maintain our ticket base and to also sell new tickets. I think most people in the city, and especially the season ticket holders, are very excited about the direction that our new coach is going. Of course, Coach Webster, our general manager, and Coach Wisenhut, they are really trying to plug some of the holes that they felt like needed to be plugged. And so everybody's excited about the new talent, and we expect great things to happen. And the thing that we want to happen is that we'll be in the playoffs. But can you imagine that it's only 5 months away before we start our football season? Mm-hmm. So it's a very short window, and we're working hard to make sure that we represent Nashville and Tennessee in the best light. Are there any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Walter, for that good report. We'll move right along then. We'll have a report, an update on the ice hockey practice facility. Remick Moore will give us that update, and we're still excited about what's happening out there. Remick?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been out there lately, but it's really starting to come together. It's starting to look like a building. You know, we had some trouble earlier this year with the weather, but now that we got out of the ground, things are starting to move really fast. So, give you a brief update. The last 30 days, sort of, we've been pouring the perimeter slabs of the ice sheets themselves, not the ice rink itself, but the perimeter. In the front of house, all those slabs being poured. The central corridor where the locker rooms, restrooms, and such is being poured and erected. And the biggest change is the pre-engineered steel structure that's going up. It's currently being erected and it's being painted gold. So if you go out there, you can't miss it. I mean, it's a big, giant gold steel. So it's very exciting. In the next 30 days, we're going to begin the mechanical rough-in. The main headers for the ice refrigeration are going in, and as soon as the building gets dried in, we're going to start the refrigeration for the sheets of ice themselves. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. So that's it in a nutshell.
Anybody have any
Any
questions on the update on the?
Do you think we're on the schedule?
Yes, we are. Schedule's looking very good. As I said, you know, earlier this year, the weather kind of set us back a few days, but now that we're out of the ground, things are moving very fast, so.
Okay.
Is that it?
We'll probably do a board tour of the facility in May when we kind of get to a point when the site's accessible and
Good.
this is something to see.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thanks.
Remick. Well, we're ready for the Practice Bridgestone Arena report, and Jeff Cogan is going to do that. Jeff, we congratulate you all, you and the team there, on continuing to have a very successful season, successful year. It's just amazing all that's going on down there. So you want to give us your report?
Yeah.
Thank you, JD. First, welcome to the new board members. We look forward to working with you for the foreseeable future. Kim, congratulations on the 40 under 40. As an aside, I once in ancient history had that honor. Unfortunately, the pictures were only in black and white back then. Finally, you see a new face. My partner, Mr. Henry, is having a Griswold vacation for spring break, so you have to suffer through me this time. And, you know, Sean's been coming up here for 4 years giving these things, and every month it is stupendous and incredible, and we're breaking our record, our previous record-breaking years. Well, he sent me here for the 2 months and 4 years that have been down to budget in previous years. December was down to previous year and budget. January was. You know, we continue to drive the top line, attendance, events, gross. We had some extraordinary one-time expenses related to these events, you know, kind of oversimplified. We did a lot of multiple show runs, Ringling, Monster Truck. They are not as profitable as a concert per se. And they're multi-runs, and, you know, bringing in dirt and staffing multiple runs leads to incremental expenses. All that said, if you look at year-to-date through January on our February submission, you'll see that we are basically flat to last year, a little ahead of budget. I remind you, last year was a record-breaking year. We're going to finish the year very strong. Upcoming shows, George Strait this weekend, Bruce Springsteen, Miley Cyrus, of course the Women's Final Four, which we're honored to do in conjunction with Sports Council, All for the Hall, Share. Those are all selling well, and in this fiscal year. And Mr. Kells tells me that there is one highly likely big show. There's my Sean Henry imitation. There's one other show we are not allowed to announce yet. It is 90% firm, and it's a very big one. So we feel confident that we will hit this year's budget. It will be, again, a record-breaking year on top of a record-breaking year. And that kind of, in summary, is the December and January financials that you have in front of you. Also included in our February submittal to this esteemed group, we gave you a summary of an event-level hospitality area that we are hopeful to construct for the 14-15 year. You have heard from Populous relative to it. Basically, it's underutilized storage areas and duplicated photo rooms downstairs, and what it will create is a hospitality area for our concert goers and our hockey fans. It will also create breakout rooms, green rooms, media rooms. By example, if we had it this year for the Women's Final Four, we would have a state-of-the-art gathering place for sponsors, media, et cetera, that right now we piece out the rehearsal hall. I think we referenced in the notes, we compete, our peer group kind of used to be Louisville and Memphis, and as you know, we are a top 10 arena in North America. So now our peer group is international, Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Atlanta, Staples, Madison Square Garden. To compete with them, we need this hospitality space. We've had some meetings with Metro Finance. We feel confident it can be accommodated in the SIF budget. And I understand from Toby that you will be voting on this in April. So I simply reference it, and more information to follow from Toby, and then a vote in April. Preds, not been the best of seasons. We continue to fill the building. We're in the middle of our renewals for next year, and it's going very well. We need to figure out what's going on the ice. I've been meeting with David Poyle almost daily, text at 11:30 last night. We will get this figured out. From your perspective, we continue to drive bodies to the arena. We continue to drive grosses. We continue to pay good rent. On the building side, as I referenced, we have a pretty full funnel for the rest of the season. Last comment is we submitted a budget in I believe December was a requirement for that, and I believe Toby is going to ask for approval of that budget for fiscal 15 later on the agenda, and I will be here if you have any questions regarding that. Thank you for the opportunity to present to this esteemed group. I may start bumping Sean. This was so much fun. Any questions?
Toby has a comment, I believe.
I was just going to mention that the floor plan that you've that Jeff has talked about here, that's in the report from January 2014. We've had some talks with Sean and Rich is here. We've had some communication. We're getting some additional information. We intend to do this meeting at the arena in April, so that you can see the space, its current use, and if there's any questions, we'll be getting some more information to you guys about the costs and the uses.
Okay. Any questions of Jeff? Anybody? Comments?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll tell Sean that you passed the test.
I wasn't going to wear socks, but I couldn't do it.
Okay. Well, exciting things are happening all over Nashville, but one of the most exciting things is the ballpark. And Ron, you want to come and give us an update on the ballpark?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thanks for having us up here today. It is exciting.
You working around the clock on it?
Do what?
Are you working around the clock?
We are darn close. And that's probably the cleanest language I've used in about a week. So we're all into construction, and everybody is wound a little bit tight, but that's part of the thing. It is truly, as Toby mentioned, he and I are presenting this ballpark routinely, and I have never seen anything in Nashville that has, almost no opposition. It is just, everybody likes the idea, likes the concept, likes the location. It is really an impressive thing, and we're just thrilled to be part of it. We meet weekly with Mr. Riebling, who asked awfully tough questions, but he and Metro and all the various agencies have gotten on board, and they are really making sure that every oar's in the water and we're all paddling in the same direction. Mr. Ward and the Sounds and their team spent 2 days just going into crazy detail just to try to make sure that we've got every component of this thing as it needs to be. As many of you are aware, we've retained, or the city has retained, a joint venture construction manager, Bell, which is made of Bell Construction locally, who's right off of the Music City Center. Barton Mello, which is just finishing up the Charlotte AAA ballpark, and Harmony, which is also on the Music City Center. And they're doing an excellent job of bringing things together. The fence is in. The job trailers are there waiting for utilities. Erosion control is complete. Earthwork, we're moving 250 truckloads of dirt a day, 6 days a week. They're working 12-hour days. And if you haven't been by there, the hole is a lot bigger than it was yesterday. So the character is changing. We're working with Embry Development, which, if you'll recall, is part of the land swap. They're going to let us put 30,000 cubic yards of dirt on their property, which is going to save us some money and help with time. The caissons or drilled piers, those bids came in yesterday, so we're going to be starting as soon as we negotiate those and finalize a couple other details. Going to be starting putting the foundations in. Concrete package is out for bids. That should be coming in next week. The next package going out is going to be below ground plumbing, and then hopefully we'll have a few weeks between packages, and then we'll get more into the building. We've got steel, which is a long lead item, and we're still trying to decide when that's going to be ordered in order to keep things on track. Hastings Architect locally will be taking over from Populous as we finalize these designs. As I said, we're getting from big decisions now to small decisions. So where the outlets are going to be, where the actual doors are going to be located, which way they're going to swing, are things that we're dealing with today. And hopefully over the next couple of weeks, that will essentially be set. And then there'll be very little changes from that point on. And as I said, Hastings will be picking up the lead. Part of the project is a state garage that's going to be built by the state. We're involved in assisting them in the design of that garage. Schematic design's been completed. They're on track to do design development. The state is hiring their construction manager in May, and hopefully they'll be under construction in June for a spring of 2015 opening. So that's the plan. So do I have any questions? Again, Toby's been a huge help trying to get us out there in the public and get the information out.
Margaret?
I have a question about budget. Are we within budget and what's going on?
We are. The Sounds, it's a complicated issue, as you would imagine, but the Sounds have been working with us on several things that they want. And we're in the pricing phase. As we get more and more detail, we're in the pricing phase of a lot of these issues and what we call value analysis, as everybody has to go through. At the same time, we've got the big unknowns, which is really basically stuff below the dirt. It's kind of coming in where we expected it to come in, so that's good. We can get that behind us. Those unknowns will be known in the next couple of months. And we're still making decisions about finishes and other things that That's the kind of level we're at right now, but we're doing our next pricing package from Bell Barton Mello will be coming in next week or so. We'll be evaluating that. We'll be making some changes to adjust, but a lot of different pieces and parts.
Other questions? Thank you very much, Ron, for that comprehensive
We appreciate
report.
it. Like I said,
We'll be hearing from you on a regular basis.
and hopefully in about 2 months, I'll be showing you some steel coming up. So,
Good.
All right.
Great. Fantastic. Okay. We have the Sports Authority fiscal year 14 budget update, and Toby is going to make that presentation.
So, board members, I'm in tab 5 of the book. It's this presentation here. I kind of laid it out as a PowerPoint and simply printed these items for you. I'll do both of these. We'll just kind of flow from our review of fiscal year 14 into the fiscal year 15 proposed budget. And we'll move through this fairly quickly. So the numbers that we have that I'll be speaking on for fiscal year 14 are through the end of January. So we're talking about halfway through the fiscal year. Our total budget, as many of you will know, is $675,500. On page 1 there, I basically have highlighted the major categories of our budget. Through January 31, we're tracking a little ahead on our expenses. That's simply because of the way certain things are timed or the way certain things are billed to us, particularly the insurance premiums and the stormwater fees. Those are fairly substantial parts of our budget. They're billed early. We've already paid those out. As we stretch that expense out over 12 months, it will balance out and equal out just fine. We believe that there have been a couple unique things that have popped up that we'll be reimbursed for as well, which were some outstanding stormwater fees. We'll be tapping into the Stormwater Contingency Fund. Those date back actually to fiscal year 13. And then we had to pay out a little bit of extra money in terms of advertising this year. We don't obviously advertise normally. We advertise because we had to, related to the bond issuance. So we'll be also reimbursed for that. We will anticipate finishing the year as we project forward. Monica and I have talked quite a bit about, well, where are we and kind of where will we be going for the next 6 months. We're going to be at or below budget projections. Is there any questions about fiscal year 14? Yes, ma'am.
All of your postage, so
Well-
if you need to borrow a stamp.
Well, we'll get to 15. Thank you. So fiscal year 15, as we look forward to the process and what happens from here, we, the Sports Authority, will hopefully receive approval from you today. We will take this budget. It will go to the finance director's office and into the mayor's budget process. Once the mayor completes his budget, he'll deliver it to the council in May. And what we'll do then is go through the council budget process. Our friend Rip Ryman can help me with that. He knows this process very, very well. And then hopefully by June 30th, we'll end up with a final budget. The numbers that you're going to see today are proposed. It doesn't mean that the finance director or the council will actually end up with these numbers. But what they've asked us to do is propose a 3% budget cut. We're able, we believe, to do that out of the $675,500. We're able, we believe, to absorb that $7,700 cut by basically just kind of working around the edges of our existing budget. What we're proposing today, Monica and I are very confident that it will not impact any of the service delivery that we currently do. So on page 4 of the little presentation that I've got in front of you, at the top, I've carved out and kind of shown you exactly where that $7,700 will be cut. As Kim has pointed out, there are a few zeros on here, supplies and things of that nature. We believe that we'll just be able to adjust some of the other things. We frankly don't need a lot of office supplies. We have kind of a stock of supplies right now, and we just don't believe that we're going to really need that much stuff. A handful of binder clips and a handful of paper, we can absorb that through the printing line item or reclassifying in other ways. We actually don't mail. our postage costs are so minimal, the same is true there. So we're very confident with this budget. Monica and I have sat down and talked about this quite a bit. Like many departments struggle with much larger cuts than we have to contemplate. We think we can do this and do this confidently with no impact. So with that, I would simply ask for your approval for the Sports Authority fiscal year 15 budget proposal.
I second. Motion's made and second. Discussion. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then approved.
And so the final tab in your packets, number 6, is this is the report that has come from Sean Henry. It was delivered originally to you at the December board meeting, and in some subsequent communications I've had with you. Sean, in his memo, kind of outlines how they came to build the model for this, which is that they've had a successful run for many years now of budgeting. They have come in at or have exceeded their budgets expectations on the revenue side and have been below the expense side. So they have a few minor tweaks. Nothing here is really all that significant. The largest tweak is in the category of total revenue, which is a slight decrease of 2%. And the largest increase is 1% in the total operating expenses. For those of you who have been on the board, frankly, this isn't, you probably don't see anything here that's too foreign to you. And with that, I would ask for approval of the fiscal year 15 operating budget for the Nashville Predators. And of course, we take any questions. And Jeff, I don't think Jeff's still here. I thought he might have ran out.
Okay, you've heard Toby's presentation. We would need a motion to approve this budget, and then we can answer any questions or that you might have.
Also move for
Second.
approval.
Motion's made and second for approval. Are there any questions about the budget for 2015 for the arena? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then it is approved. We're coming down to the end of the agenda. It's moved very well. I want to again thank Monica and Toby for the good job they're doing and the fact that they're both working diligently to get us as much information as quick as they can. Sometimes we don't get it because it's not ready, but they are striving to do that, and I think every time it's begun to improve, as you have requested on the Sports Authority. I want to also, again, thank Rip and Dudley and Christy. Christy, you sure look better than the other two. So we're delighted to have you all and look forward to our other member when the mayor has them appointed. Our next meeting will be on April the 17th at 8:30 at the Bridgestone Arena. And as you heard, we will be touring and seeing some of the area there that's going to be changed or recommended for change. Does anybody have anything else before we entertain a motion to adjourn? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you for coming this morning, and I hope Margaret and Kathy and Kim get to see all the games coming up and have a good time.
Good meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
How are you doing, JD?
Good. I got my